This is the story of the most expensive meal in history. It wasn't served in a palace or prepared by a world-famous chef. It was just two large pizzas from Papa John's. But today, those two pizzas would be worth over $700 million. The whole world laughs at the man who made that purchase. They call him a fool. They call it the dumbest financial mistake ever made. But they are all wrong. That wasn't the story of a foolish mistake. It was the story of a revolution. This is the fable of how two pizzas gave life to a trillion-dollar idea. To understand how, we have to go back to the year 2010. The world was still healing from a massive financial crisis. People's trust in banks and traditional money was at an all-time low. And in the quiet corners of the internet, a strange new experiment was taking shape. It was called Bitcoin. It wasn't a company. It had no CEO, no office, no marketing department. It was just a piece of code, maintained by a small group of anonymous programmers and cryptographers. They believed it could be a new kind of money, digital and decentralized. But there was one giant problem. It had no real-world value. It was just a concept. Owning Bitcoin back then was like having points in a video game that didn't exist yet. You could collect them, you could send them to other players, but you couldn't buy anything with them. They were, for all practical purposes, worthless. This is where our main character enters the story. His name is Laszlo Hanyecz, a programmer from Florida. Laszlo wasn't a Wall Street guru. He was a tinkerer, a builder. He was fascinated by the Bitcoin project, and he used his powerful computers to mine it. By solving complex math problems, his computers would validate the network and get rewarded with new coins. He had accumulated tens of thousands of these worthless Bitcoins. But Laszlo wanted to do something more. He wanted to prove that Bitcoin could be more than just a hobby. He wanted to bridge the gap between the digital world and the real world. So, on May 18, 2010, he logged onto the Bitcoin Talk forum, and he posted a simple, historic message. "I'll pay 10,000 Bitcoins for a couple of pizzas, like maybe two large ones, so I have some left over for the next day." He even listed his favorite toppings: onions, peppers, sausage, mushrooms. Just a normal pizza order. But the amount he offered was anything but normal: 10,000 Bitcoins. The reaction from the community was silence. Nobody responded. For one day, then two, then three. People thought the idea was strange. Why would anyone trade real food for internet money? The offer sat there, unanswered. This silence proved just how little value Bitcoin had at the time. Finally, 4 days later, a 19-year-old student in California saw the post. His name was Jeremy Sturdivant. He saw an opportunity for a simple, interesting exchange. He contacted Laszlo and accepted the offer. The process was completely based on trust. Jeremy called his local Papa John's pizzeria. He ordered two large pizzas and paid for them with his own credit card. The total cost was about $41. He had them delivered to Laszlo's address all the way across the country in Florida. Once the pizzas arrived at his door, Laszlo kept his promise. He transferred 10,000 Bitcoins from his digital wallet to Jeremy's. A few hours later, Laszlo posted a picture to the forum to confirm the mission was a success. It was a simple photo of two pizzas sitting on his table, with his daughter's hand reaching for a slice. History had been made. For the very first time, a purely digital currency had been used to buy a real, physical object. That single moment changed everything. And if you want to understand more of these hidden stories that shape our financial world, make sure you subscribe to The Finance Fable. We turn complex money matters into simple, powerful stories. Before that pizza transaction, Bitcoin was just a theory. After that transaction, it was a reality. This wasn't a purchase, it was a proof of concept. Laszlo Hanyecz didn't waste 10,000 Bitcoins. He single-handedly gave them their first ever price tag. The value of one Bitcoin on that day was officially established. about 0.4 cents. The price of a pizza divided by 10,000. This event gave the entire project legitimacy. It showed everyone else that you could, in fact, trade these digital tokens for things of actual value. It started a snowball effect. Soon, others began trading bitcoins for goods and services. Early exchanges started to appear where people could buy and sell them for dollars. The value of a single bitcoin grew from less than a penny to 10 cents, then to $1. Laszlo himself didn't stop there. He spent over 100,000 bitcoins on all sorts of things, helping to build the young economy. He wasn't trying to get rich. He was trying to build a currency. He was using it for its intended purpose, as a medium of exchange. Years went by, and the world started to catch on. The price of a single bitcoin exploded. From $1 to $100 to $1,000. Then 10,000 and even higher. Those two pizzas, bought for $41, were now worth millions. Then tens of millions. Then hundreds of millions. This is when the world started calling Laszlo a fool, but he has always said he has no regrets. He saw it as taking part in an interesting open-source project. He was a pioneer, and pioneers often pay a price. Today, the 22nd of May, is celebrated every year by millions of people around the world. They call it Bitcoin Pizza Day. It's a celebration of that first, crucial transaction that proved the entire system could work. So, was it really the dumbest purchase in history? Or was it the small spark that lit the fuse on a financial revolution? The fable of the Bitcoin pizza teaches us a powerful lesson about value. Value isn't intrinsic. It's a story that we all agree to believe in. For a long time, the world agreed that gold was valuable. Then, that little pieces of paper from the government were valuable. On that day in 2010, a few people started to believe a new story. The story that lines of code could be valuable too. And sometimes, the most mundane actions like ordering dinner can end up changing the world. What do you think? Was Laszlo a fool or a founding father? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching The Finance Fable. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss our next story.